Of the Western Nebraska Pioneer season. 10 games in 11 days, all at home, starting today and ending on July 1st. Before we talk more about the 6-game road trip and the upcoming homestand, our sideline reporter Anna Semba is down on the field with Coach J.J. O'Connor. Anna now.
We're here with Coach Jay. After the Pioneers were out for a full week, they're finally back home. How does it feel to be on the home field now?
Yeah, it's good to be back after a long road trip. The boys had an off day yesterday, so hopefully they come out today swinging and can put up some runs.
So what is it that needs to be changed up after this, being on the road? What needs to be changed up so that they're back on track for this team?
Like I said about the rest day, it's a long 6-day trip, so they were very tired by the end of it. So hopefully they're refreshed and can come get a few wins to start a homestand.
How does it feel to have that Australian team kind of come here and be in the States for you being an Australian as well?
Yeah, it feels really good to be able to talk to a few of them and hear that Australian accent. It's been good.
Feels like a little bit like home?
A little bit like home, yeah.
Okay, and then my final question. Heard you might be playing tonight, so how's that? Is that a little rumor, or is that might be some truth?
No, there might be a little bit of truth to that. I might throw an inning or maybe one at bat. We'll see what happens.
So our pitching coach might be on the mound tonight. Let's see if you could show these boys up, huh? Right?
Hopefully, let's go.
All right, thank you so much. We are going to be throwing it back to Jeffrey Nelson, who's the voice of the Pioneers for the rest of the game.
All right, thank you, Anna, and we're going to throw it to a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk more about the pregame show, and we'll be back with more on the High Plains Spas and Recreation pregame show on KNEB Radio, your home of the Western Nebraska Pioneers. Pioneers look to match their play to the temperature that they were playing in, and it started off just that way with the bats hot and jumping out to a 7-1 lead in Dodge City. But with the wind picking up as the game went on into the middle innings, the bats got cold, and the Pioneers found it quite difficult when needing to tack on to their 7-1 lead. Slowly, they saw the A's claw their way back into the game, and by the 7th inning, the game was tied at 7, and with the A's adding a run in the bottom half of the 8th, the Pioneers weren't able to find their bats in time, falling 8-7 in their first game of the 6-game road trip down in Dodge City, Kansas. The following day, however, though, there were 2 4-run innings for the Pioneers, and with the game going into extras and a 2-run 10th inning capped off by Ronan Hella, who was on the mound, once again being spectacular, and the Pioneers got their first win of the road trip in a split at Dodge City before heading down to Liberal to take on the Liberal BJs. Francisco Laya helped make things happen that day in the win against Dodge City, going 3 for 5 with 2 RBIs, and Bryce Peterson was 3 for 3 with 2 walks, meaning he reached base in all 5 of his plate appearances, while Ronan Hella pitched 3 shutout innings to close out the game and ended up getting the win in Game 2 against the A's. Sunday's game in Liberal was much more competitive. The Pioneers fell to the BJs 3-1 after having the lead until the 7th inning, thanks in part to 6 brilliant innings from incoming freshman at Oakland University in Michigan, Brody Fanistock, who allowed 3 hits and struck out 7 during his outing against the BJs. And the next day didn't fare any better for the boys from Gering as they found themselves down 12-0 after 3 innings of play. Having made 6 errors in the field, they fell 19-5 in a 7-inning game against the Liberal BJs, and that meant that they had to travel to take on the hot Hayes Larks down in Hayes, Kansas. And fortunately for the boys, they had an off day thanks to a postponement and hectic weather, crazy weather down there in Hayes. Over 70 miles an hour at times was the wind blowing in Hayes, so of course there was going to be no game on that Tuesday. However, on the Wednesday, though, the final day of the road trip, it was a 7-inning doubleheader against the quality team in the Hayes Larks, and Game 1 was a struggle, with the Pioneers falling 11-2, in which they gave up all 11 in the first inning. And in fact, 11 seemed to be the number in that game for the Hayes Larks because all of the first 11 batters reached base, and the first 9 scored. Now the Pios changed their ways and looked to end on a high note after about a 30-minute break and getting set for Game 2 of the doubleheader. Well, they took on the Hayes Larks again and challenged them in a team that had barely lost any game so far in that season, and they played really, really well, did the Pioneers, and Coach Shane Sharkey was very proud of them on the bus after that game. Of course, being the end of the 6-game road trip, the boys had not been at home in quite some time, and they were all on the road, staying in 3 different hotels over the time and traveling in a bus that was at times quite hot, to be quite honest. And they took the scheduled 7-inning game, the full 9 innings, losing in devastating fashion on a walk-off by Larks right fielder Wilbert Espinal. But overall, they look to change that today as they turn their attention to this 10-game homestand to end the month and look to play better in their friendly confines here at home at Oregon Trail Park, where they have an 8-2 record and seemingly having taken advantage of being in their home ballpark, to be quite honest, with that 8-2 record. And the road trip may have been tough, but these 10 games in 11 days for this Western Nebraska Pioneers baseball team will quite honestly define the rest of their season. And it has a lot of quality in the club. There's great players on this team that look to turn things around before the calendar flips to July. And the Pioneers baseball, it starts right now here on KNEB Radio and on the Western Nebraska Pioneers YouTube page. That's what happens when I write it. When I write my pregame, it's good. When I don't write it, well, I struggle to find shit to talk about. I don't know how. I set it to 0. Somehow it was at 1. So that means my backpack must have pressed it into 1 throughout the road trip on the bus. Must have hit like a bump or something and it just pushed it once. I'm surprised it didn't push it more. It's a large crowd. Man, everybody go home and watch the stream. Really? It'll take some time. Once the game starts, though, I'm sure there'll be more people. Really? Back here on KNEB Radio and on the Western Nebraska Pioneers YouTube page, you're watching and listening to the High Plains Spas and Recreations pregame show. Now, the Western Nebraska Pioneers, as we said before we went to break, 10 games in 11 days. They're going to be at home here, and it starts with exhibition games as they take a break from league play and will take on the Australian Select Colts. And as our PA address announcer Bill Sheffield announces the lineups, now today we have some special stuff going on here at the ballpark, not only having the Australian select Colts in the ballpark. Well, that means we're going to be playing the Australian national anthem along with our own national anthem here in the United States of America. So it'll be an interesting day. We'll do it both today and tomorrow as the lineups are being announced, especially the Pioneers, as they take the field. Jake Maroney, E.J. Barnes, and finally Coy Carpenter. They round out the order for the Pioneers. That looks like this, with Kieran Gaffney leading it off as the designated hitter, followed by Luke Nowak, Francisco Laya, Jackson Yeager, Bryce Peterson, Ronan Hella, Jake Maroney, E.J. Barnes, and Coy Carpenter. Now he's going to mention the seats of honor, but after that, we will have the Australian national anthem and the American national anthem before we have first pitch here at Oregon Trail Park Stadium. So we'll let you listen into both on KNEB Radio and on the Western Nebraska Pioneers YouTube page.
In 1987, he received Nebraska Man Dave's Hispanic Man of the Year, and 2 weeks later received the League of United Latin American Citizens National Hispanic Man of the Year in Corpus Christi, Texas. In 2018, Dr. Ramirez was awarded the Nebraska State Education Association's Great Plains Milestone Award. He is the son of Mexican immigrants, a Vietnam vet, and recipient of the Purple Heart. Pioneer fans, a warm round of applause for Dr. Ramirez. And now, fans, at this time, we ask that you please join Dr. Ramirez and rise. Remove your hats and join us as we present the Australian anthem, followed by our national anthem, sung tonight by Josh Foster.
back here as we get set to start the first game of a two-game exhibition series against the Australian Select Colts here at Oregon Trail Park Stadium. On the mound for your Western Nebraska Pioneers is Paul Panduro. Panduro pitched in the road trip, and he did an all right job in Dodge City. It was the first game of the road trip, and after that he went back home. Of course, he works at his family's restaurant here in Gering and Scotts Bluff. Now, he went 4 2/3, gave up 5 hits, 3 runs. 2 of those runs were earned. 3 walks, 5 strikeouts on 90 pitches. He did not qualify for a win or a loss, so he got a no decision. But he comes back here a week later as we get set to start the ball game as he's throwing his warm-up pitches to Jake Maroney behind the plate. And he gets set to have quite a day here against the Australian Select Colts. Now, this is a non-league game. It's just 2 exhibition games as the Colts do a sort of world tour, should I say. They played the Fort Collins Foxes down in Colorado just a couple days ago. And Panduro gets ready to deal as he's done with his warm-up pitches. Cody Vandergraaf is going to be the first batter of the ball game for the Australian Select Colts, and Panduro will look to do a great job here. He did want to pitch in front of his coach at Fort Hays State against the Hays Larks, but it would have been a lot for him to travel down here, and here we go. First pitch from Panduro is down and in for ball 1, and first pitch is at 6:40, so 5 minutes behind, but we have no problem with that. It's exhibition games. Second pitch from Panduro is hit in the air towards left. Luke Nowak is out there today. He moves to his left a little bit towards left center, makes the play, and we have out number 1. It's 74 degrees here in Gering, Nebraska at the time of first pitch. Nowak is in left. Carpenter's been in center for about the past week. And Francisco Laya, who had an incredible throw, although it didn't result in an out, it was still a heck of a throw to see in Hayes, is in right field. The first pitch to Zach Durbin is up and away. It's ball 1 to Panduro. Bryce Peterson's at third. E.J. Barnes, the San Diego, California native, is at short with pitch in there for strike 1. Here's Panduro, so it's 1-1. Now the Albuquerque, New Mexico native and the guest on the extra inning show today, Ronan Hella, he plays at second base with Jackson Yeager over at first. The 1-1 pitch from Panduro's fouled off, out of play, 1-1. And giving Panduro a new baseball, he's Ben Ayotte, the home plate umpire, with Corey Monroe and Scott Summerfield. So 3 base umpires for us in exhibition play. Boy, are we treated to an extra umpire. As Panduro fires in strike 3, drop third strike from Maroney. And his throw down to first completes the strikeout. Panduro gets his second out here as he sets down the first 2 batters here to start the ball game. We are treated to 3 umpires here at Oregon Trail Park. We're just underway here in a 2-game exhibition series with the Australian Select Colts. Not every player comes from Australia, however, but there are a lot. Ryan Clark is the designated hitter, and he wears number 24, and he is the batter here. As he takes inside for ball 1 from Panduro, and the 1-0 pitch is in there for a strike. So it's 1-1. A great crowd here. It's a fill the park night here at Oregon Trail Park. 1-1 from Panduro, checking his swing. Did he go? Well, of course, we have an umpire who has a good angle over there at first base. He says no. Clark is ahead in the count 2-1 on Panduro, who looks to get a 1-2-3 inning to start the ball game. The Pioneers need to find their ways, not just in the field after committing many errors on the road, but also need to find their bats. The 2-1 pitch is low. It's 3-1. As I said, a great crowd here at Oregon Trail Park Stadium. And of course, Sunday, there's movie night after the game. There's bark in the park, so you're welcome to bring your dogs. 3-1 from Panduro is inside. It's a walk to the 3-hole hitter, Ryan Clark, and that'll bring up the cleanup man and center fielder, Gavin Clenert. Clenert wearing the number 42. Of course, the opposite of number of the legendary Willie Mays, who just passed away recently. It's the baseball world. Said goodbye to one of the legends. Of course, he was honored at Rickwood Field yesterday with the Cardinals and the Giants playing the first ever Major League game in Alabama in at least a long time. First pitch to Clenert was outside. This pitch is on the outside corner, so it's 1-1 on Clenert. Red jerseys for the select Colts with white pants, even though they're on the road. They have white and black, half and half hats with a red brim. Clenert swings it from the right side. Clark with his lead off of first. Panduro, as the Pioneers wear their all-white uniforms with the blue hats and the red brims and their Red Sox, deals a 1-1 pitch down and away. It's 2-1 to Gavin Clenert. 2 outs here in the top of the first inning for Paul Panduro. We're just underway in this exhibition game. That pitch is up and in, so it's 3-1 on the cleanup hitter and center fielder for the select Colts. 3-1 pitch from Panduro is up high, so back-to-back walks now for Paul Panduro on the mound as he looks to get out of this first inning. E.J. Barnes is going to slow things down. Come talk to him on the mound. Just remind Panduro that he probably has better stuff than these guys are used to seeing. Of course, they were in Fort Collins the other day. Now, the team did a great job of getting this field playable. We had a lot of rain last night and a severe thunderstorm warning. In fact, there was a tornado 25 minutes to the northwest in Mitchell. And in fact, this field today was very, very damp. You could place your foot down and it would sink in like it was almost quicksand at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But here we are. We're playing. The tarp was on the field. We took it off about 30 minutes before first pitch or so, about 35 minutes. Ethan Ward is the batter. He plays right field today, wearing number 4 for the Colts. And he steps in for his first AB, swings it from the right side. A lot of these kids are very, very young. Some of them are in college. Some of them are still in high school, but they're getting the opportunity to come across to the States and play the game of baseball. Of course, we know that number 1 pick, potentially Travis Bazana, is of Australia. So it's a game that is loved over there in the land down under, as they love to call it. The 1-0 pitch from Paul Panduro was in there for a strike as he gets to start here. Got the first 2 outs, and then he walked the next 2 batters. So he has first and second with 2 outs as he deals to his battery mate, Jake Maroney, the 1-1 pitch. It's in the dirt, a good block by Maroney, who is one of the best defensive catchers, in my opinion, in this Rocky Mountain Baseball League. The San Jose State, soon-to-be junior, was the bullpen catcher for the Spartans this past season. Good friends with Luke Nowak as they both grew up in the Frisco, Texas area. 2-1 count on Ethan Ward. Panduro deals a pitch that is just a little bit high, so it's 3-1 in danger of walking the bases loaded here in the first inning as he gets set to deal his jersey number in pitches here this inning. It will be pitch number 21 on the 3-1 count. Infield and outfield play straight away, and Panduro deals his 3-1. Not able to get on top of it. It is up high. His release is just a little bit early on his fastball, and his release on his slider has been a little bit late. Hence the reason for the sliders in the dirt and the fastballs up high. Needing to find that timing on his release point now as the bases are loaded for Grady Smith. Smith, wearing number 15, is the third baseman for the Colts today. The windup for Panduro, and this pitch is lined into left. Nowak comes on. He makes the play on the run about chest high, and he gets Panduro out of the inning. He walks 3, but he strands the bases loaded, and the Pioneers will be coming to bat in the bottom half of the first. We get set to start the bottom of the first as the Pioneers. Paul Panduro walked 3 after getting the first 2 outs to start the ball game, but you got to line out to Luke Nowak in left field to end the top half of the first inning. So we get set to watch his team go to the plate, and that starts with Kieran Gaffney, who is the designated hitter today against Lachlan Forder for the Colts. Gaffney, Nowak, Francisco Laya, Jackson Yeager, Bryce Peterson, Ronan Hella, Jake Maroney, E.J. Barnes, and Coy Carpenter is the lineup today for your Western Nebraska Pioneers. Now, as for Lachlan Forder, he is 24 years old as he takes the mound here. A pitcher and outfielder, stands 5'11", 188 from Canberra, Australia. He gets set to deal his first pitch to Gaff. And that pitch is up high. It's 1-0. See if there's any bit of jitters for anybody on this Colts roster. Now they have 2 kids from Taft, California. 2 kids from Texas. And a kid from Seattle, Washington. And that makes up, and a kid from Portland, Oregon as well, That makes up the entirety of the Americans on their roster. Everybody else is from outside of the U.S. We have Qatar, the UAE, China, Australia. And pardon me, I skipped out on 2 kids from Alaska on this baseball team for the Colts. Gaffney took up high on the last 2 pitches. Now the count is 3-0 on Kieran Gaffney. Tufts University, Taft Community College, Feather River College, Shasta Community College, Antelope Valley Community College. Lewis and Clark State University and Berlin Junior College are being represented by the Colts here at Oregon Trail Park. That pitch is on the outside corner for Forder, and he gets strike 1, so it's a 3-1 count to Kieran Gaffney. Young kids not always paying attention. There's a coach giving his right fielder the signal that he needs to move over in right field towards the left center field gap. That's Ethan Ward. He finally got the signal from his coach. Gaffney earns a walk. He's on to start the ball game for the Pioneers in front of their best hitter, Luke Nowak. And I say their best hitter by the numbers because Nowak is hitting over 400. Now, if you look at the game notes today, one of our interns, Cole Mayberry, has done a heck of a job of combining the notes that Point Streak won't do, combining the statistics of the players. They're at the bottom of the game notes. If you go to wnpioneers.com/game-day-notes, every day, our intern Cole Mayberry works on the game day notes. Nowak stands at 441 in 13 games with a 604 on base percentage. He takes ball 1 up high from Forder. So thank you very much to Cole Mayberry. Goes to Lubbock Christian down in Texas. He's one of our interns on this Western Nebraska Pioneers staff. He's done a heck of a job of compiling the stats and putting them together. 5 stolen bases, but 5 caught stealings for Nowak this year. As for Kieran Gaffney, he has 2 stolen bases. He's been caught stealing 3 times as well. The team leader, is Francisco Laya with 13 stolen bases in 15 attempts. 2-0 count on Nowak now, with Gaffney on first, leading off the bottom of the first. We're just underway here at Oregon Trail Park. 2 exhibition games for the Pioneers as they take on the Australian Select Colts. This one is going to be a pass ball. Gaffney had a good jump, but Either way, he was not going completely on the pitch, and the ball went off of the glove of the catcher, Ryan Barnes, and went to the backstop. So moving to second is Gaffney now. The pitch, of course, was a ball. So it's 3-0 on Nowak, and Forder will have to find the zone. It is different playing here in the States and playing kids that are at the college level. They may not chase as much as kids at the high school level or any other level outside of the U.S. Now 3-0 is the pitch to Nowak. It's way high. It's a 4-pitch walk for Luke Nowak. So that 604 on base percentage goes up even further. After that walk number 14 on the season, and here comes the man who leads the team in walks in Francisco Laya, batting .340 on the season with a .500 on base percentage. Leads the team in games played as well at 16. This is game 17 on the season, and it will be at bat number 51 for Francisco Laya, who is 17 for 50 so far. 1 home run with 7 RBIs. 14 walks, 3 hit by pitches for Laya, as he has runners on first and second. He helped the Pioneers get that win in Dodge City. Swinging at the first pitch, Laya hits one out to Clenert in center, who is there, goes back towards right center a little bit, makes the catch. Nowak, with nobody covering second base, heads up base running by Luke Nowak as he follows Kieran Gaffney, who moved to third on the play, and Nowak moves up into second. They went to double cut that ball on the outfield, meaning there was a shortstop and the second baseman outside on the grass of the outfield, ready to cut that throw off from Gavin Clenert. And guess what that means? Well, the first baseman over there today, that is Jackson Frame, was still standing at first base with Luke Nowak. So at that point, it was a race to second base, which I think Luke Nowak likes his chances on that one. Jackson Yeager broke out the other day. He had a single in which he was thrown out at second in the 3-2 loss for the Pioneers, but he broke out overall in that day, had a couple of hits, got on base twice, I believe. So for Jackson Yeager, yep, he had a double to left in the first game and walked. Even though he struck out, he then had a single in his pinch hit appearance in the 9th inning. So much different view for Jackson Yeager of the baseball. This pitch is in the dirt. It's going to get away. A late break for Gaffney, but he will score easily. And the Pioneers take a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first. It was in the dirt. The catcher behind the plate, Ryan Barnes, did the best he could of keeping that ball in front, but it wasn't enough. And Forder, who's been a little bit erratic. Some pitches have been up and out of the zone. Some pitches have been in the dirt. Well, Barnes behind the plate is doing his best right now to at least keep everything in front. Wasn't good enough on that last one, however. Not to say that he is not good behind the plate. And as the run came across, Yeager skies one down the left field line, about 100, 200 feet in the air, but it is way foul by about 100 or 200 feet. And so the count goes to 2-1 on Jackson Yeager. Yeager's average is low this season. It's at 190 at a 277 on base percentage in 13 games. He's 8 for 42. Unfortunately for Yeager, the strikeouts have been key for him. He's struck out 16 times so far in the season, but he has a 2-1 count here, so he can't strike out on this pitch. He can get an RBI if he puts the ball in play. This pitch is well above the head of the catcher Barnes into the backstop. He flips it to Forder. Not in time as Nowak comes home, and, well, Jackson Yeager won't be able to get an RBI, but the Pioneers have a 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the first. So 2 wild pitches score the runs for the Pioneers. Jackson Yeager will look to get it on base in front of Bryce Peterson. And he has become good friends with Peterson, although they did not know each other before. The Nebraska native, the Omaha, Nebraska native, Yeager takes a 3-1 pitch outside. He works a walk. The third walk on the inning for Forder on the mound. And here comes Bryce Peterson. Guys have been building their friendships with each other over the course of the season, and Yeager, Mooser, Peterson, Gaffney have all become good friends. Albuquerque, New Mexico native Ronan Hella, who knows Aiden Young since a young age. If you want to hear more about that, check out the Extra Innings show. Maybe in between innings, watch a couple minutes or so. of the Extra Innings Show on the Western Nebraska Pioneers YouTube page. Bryce Peterson bats now with Jackson Yeager on first. Peterson has a 378 on-base percentage. He's 9 for 37, giving him a 243 average. But he's been swinging a much better bat as of late as he fouls one back out of play. 2 runs home for the Pioneers here in the bottom of the first. They lead it 2-0. Paul Panduro on the mound. He got his first 2 outs, then walked 3 and got a line out to Nowak. Nowak scored a run here, following up Kieran Gaffney on a wild pitch. Forder deals a pitch outside, gets the call from Ayoade behind the plate. So it's 1-2 on the closed stance of Bryce Peterson. Holds the bat on his shoulder until the pitcher comes set. Then he brings it off and keeps it still right behind his ear. Yeager with his lead off of first and the 1-2. In the dirt once again. Gets past Barnes, who's working hard behind the plate. It's good to see him not giving up here in the first when it's struggling when your pitcher throws balls by you. He's got a pass ball of his own so far this inning, does Barnes. So effectively, that's the 4th wild pitch of the inning for Forder, who's struggling on the mound. You heard it's an exhibition game, so Coach Jay O'Connor might throw an at-bat today. Of course, he wears a jersey, so he's already prepped, and he always brings a glove to the field, the former infielder who played ball in the States. It's cool for him to have kids from his home country. Of course, his family is back home in Australia. Pitch is in the dirt to Peterson. It's 3-2 now, as a couple people are already walking to the Colts bullpen. This is a great experience here in Western Nebraska, in Gehring, of course, as we are at Oregon Trail Park, to see a team from Australia and kids from Australia playing the game of baseball. And getting a strikeout there is Forder of Bryce Peterson, who chased ball 4 up and out of the zone, as Ronan Hella will come to the plate. Sydney, Australia, Canberra, Australia, Dubai, Montreal, Canada, Hong Kong, Dubai and the United Arab Emirates, and Doha, Qatar is the home for Gavin Clenert, the center fielder. Now, that's the homes outside of the States for these Colts players on this roster. A very, very small roster, in fact. The first pitch to Ronan Hella, as I mentioned, the guest on the Extra Innings Show on the YouTube page, takes ball 1 down low. Forder looks at Yeager, who's on second. Hella swings early, and he fouls this ball down the left field line for strike 1. As we play with 2 outs here in the bottom of inning number 1. One count on 6-4 standing Hella. Curveball from Forder does not break and is up high. Hella hitting .300 on the season. He's 9 for 30. 389 on base percentage as he has 4 walks on the season, so he loves to swing it. As he swings there at the 2-1 pitch, up and out of the zone, it's 2-2 on Ronan Hella. Very, very good crowd, of course. It's a fill the park night, meaning fans get tickets at the businesses that are giving those tickets out. As we look to break another record this year, having broken the attendance record twice already. 2-2 pitch to Hella is skied in the air towards left center field. Going over is Clenert to right center field. And he's at the track there as Hella got a good piece on that ball. Didn't sound as great off the bat, but recording the third out is Clenert. 2 runs home for the Pioneers. They didn't get a hit in the inning, nor were there any errors, and Yeager was stranded on the base paths. And at the end of 1, your Western Nebraska Pioneers lead 2-0 as you listen to Pioneers baseball on KNEB Radio. We get set to start the top of the second inning. Just the second time this year that Paul Panduro pitches with a lead when he comes back out for his second inning of work, as the Pioneers took a 2-0 lead over the Australian select Colts, who are here. A lot of them are from Australia. A lot of them are from outside of the United States. I believe I counted 7 players from the States, one being from Juneau, Alaska, and the other being from Sitka, Alaska. So from the original 48, well, there's not that many of them. And number 78, Jackson Frame, the first baseman for the Colts, is going to step into the box. Frame himself, born in 2005, making him just 19, stands 6'2", 200. Bats right, throws left, takes ball 1 from Panduro, and calls home Sydney, Australia. Good crowd here. As we mentioned, always good crowds here at Oregon Trail Park, as long as the weather keeps up, of course. This pitch from Panduro is in there as you hear him pound the glove. 1-1. He's up and out of the zone. 2-1. Two on from Panduro, who works quickly, is inside 3-1. He walked 3 in the first inning, did Paul Panduro. Struggled with his command a little bit. He was early on his release of his fastball as he looks to find it here, and he deals low. It's a walk for Frame, leading off here in the top of the second. Excuse me, I believe the count's 3-1 now. I already wrote a walk in my scorebook. As it was called a strike, they checked the swing. 3-2 from Panduro, inside, and it is ball 4. A pitch too late. As Panduro walks his 4th here. Only had 3 walks in Dodge City in comparison to the 5 strikeouts he had on 90 pitches. As he was just shy of making it through 5 innings, 1 batter short. 1 out short, I should say. It's not guaranteed to be getting an out on a batter. This pitch is in the dirt, bounces away from Maroney, goes towards the first base dugout where the Australian Colts are, and it's a wild pitch from Panduro. Moving to second is Frame. Struggling with his command so far is Panduro, but what aces do is find ways to get through the ball game. So we'll see if he can do that and battle through, struggling with his command as he deals a pitch at the knees. It's called low by Ayoade behind the plate, as you can see him talking with Maroney, making sure that they understand the zone, as both teams learn the zone here just in the top of the second inning. That pitch is in there at the thigh high on the inside part of the plate. Strike 1. It's 2-1 after the wild pitch. Frame stands on second. Slide step and a cutter for a strike from Panduro. Pushes the count to 2-2. Jeffrey Nelson here with you on KNEB Radio and on the Western Nebraska Pioneers YouTube page. Exhibition game for the Pioneers as they take a break from league play quickly and play the Australian select Colts. In there for strike 3 on a slider is Panduro, and he gets his second strikeout of the day. Remember, he struck out Zach Durbin, the second batter of the ball game, as the Australian coach Jay O'Connor, or just the Australian coach as Francisco Laya knows him. If you check out the Instagram page, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Brings out some new baseballs to the home plate umpire Ben Ayoade. Now right-handed swinging Kai Chapelski from Dubai. He is just 20 years old. Of course, the Pioneers have some players who are 18 and 19. So being 20 is not all that young on this ball field. Panduro needs to tie his shoe. But taking ball 1 in the dirt, wearing number 53, is Chapelski. Kai stands 5'10", 165, listed as a second baseman, shortstop, and a pitcher as well. And he takes a pitch in there for a strike from Panduro, pushing the count to 1-1 on Chapelski. That 1-1 is in there for a strike from Panduro. And it's 1-2. On to a second baseman for the Colts. We're in the top of the second, one out, a runner on second base after a wild walk and a wild pitch from Panduro. That is Jackson Frame. That pitch is up and out of the zone. It's 2-2 from Panduro, as you can hear his ball hitting the glove every time. Count is 2-2 on the right-handed swinging second baseman for the Colts. And the 2-2 pitch. He just got a piece and stays alive as it goes off the glove of Maroney. He was a little frustrated he didn't catch it, but it was off the very, very end of his glove on the pitch up in the zone. And the chase from Trapelski. New baseball for Panduro. He's ready for another 2-2. Hella bouncing in and out, keeping Frame close at second base. And the 2-2. Cut on and missed. Dropped third, so Trapelski can go to first, but the throw down from Maroney is in time for back-to-back strikeouts from Panduro. It's something to learn for these kids is that in baseball, you're going to strike out a lot. There are very few players who don't strike out a lot. Of course, Tony Gwynn being one of the greatest ever. In fact, Greg Maddux once had a stat that it was Pedro Martinez, Tom Glavine, and John Smoltz himself, I believe it was Smoltz, not Maddux, that they faced Tony Gwynn over 300 times. Tony Gwynn struck out against all three of them, who have combined over 3,000 strikeouts. Or 3,000 each, I should say. Something close along those lines. Tony Gwynn only struck out 3 times, so he is an anomaly. Pitches up and out of the zone to the leadoff man, Cody Vandergraaf. V-A-N space D-E-R space G-R-A-F-F is how you spell Cody's last name. Vandergraaf takes the 1-0 in there for a strike from Panduro, and it is 1-1. 1-1 count on the leadoff man who flew out to Luke Nowak to start the ball game. And the 1-1 breaker from Maroney just missed the zone, according to the home plate umpire, Ben Ayotte. Vandergraaf from Perth, Australia. He is still just 18 years old. Pitches up and out of the zone. It's 2-1. And the leadoff man for the Australian Select Colts. The 3-1. In there for a strike. Getting the call is Panduro. So the count goes full. And home with the payoff. It's in the dirt. Vandergraaf should be on base according to the scoreboard. He is. He took his time. And that's another walk for Panduro. Already his 5th here in just the 2nd inning. So a frustrating start in terms of his command for Panduro. So he'll deal to the 2-hole hitter, Zach Durbin. Pitches up and away. It's ball 1. To the left-handed swinging Durbin, and jogging out there is Coach Shane Sharkey. Taking a trip to the mound is Sharkey. As Panduro is struggling with his command right now. We're in the top of the 2nd. The Pioneers have a 2-0 lead as you listen to Pioneers Baseball on KNEB Radio and you watch it on the Western Nebraska Pioneers YouTube page. Pioneers are playing the first of 2 in an exhibition and the first of a 10-game homestand as well. First of 2 against the Australian Select Colts. And they'll be home until the end of the game on July 1st before they travel to Denver to take on the Denver Cougars. Panduro checks on the runner at second. It goes off the glove of Barnes, but nowhere for Frame to go. Pandero deals another pitch in the dirt. Going for third is Frame. Maroney throws over there. But getting into third is Frame on the wild pitch from Pandero. Second wild pitch of the inning, and the second way that Frame has moved up. He's yet to be moved up by a teammate. He stands on third as the 2-0 pitch is in there for a strike as that one pounded the glove of Maroney. 9-9, Western Nebraska Pioneers return home as they get set to start a 10-game homestand. And the 2-1. Tapped over towards third. The grass has been cut, so it rolls a little bit faster than it used to. Bryce Peterson is there. He makes a nice play on the run, and that ends the top of the second. So Pandero gets a shutdown inning. No runs on no hits, no errors, 2 left on base. That's the 5th runners left on base for the Australian Select Colts. At the end of 1.5, Pioneers have a 2-0 lead. Catcher Jake Maroney will lead things off for the Pioneers in the bottom of inning number 2. Already up to 49 pitches. I guess that's part of the problem when you walk 5 for Pandero, who walked another 2 last inning, even though he got a strikeout. But no runs on the board for the Colts right now. Exhibition games for the Pioneers. This is not league play, so it doesn't count to the standings. Maroney swinging at the first pitch, fouling it off out of play. First base side. Of course, Maroney from Frisco, Texas, good friends with Luke Nowak. He's caught most games this year. He has a 207 average, but a 452 on base percentage. Takes up high. Well, that 452 on base percentage is large part to his 12 walks. Something's going on. Jackson Frame, the first baseman, is coming over to the dugout. I don't know whether it's because he's has a little bit of blood or he can't see. Something's going on, though. He's come over to the dugout, so play is paused as of right now. He might have cut his hand diving into the bag or something. I think it's under his chin that he's bleeding or he has a little bit of blood coming out. So they need to patch that up, according to the first base umpire, before he starts playing again. And he got the Band-Aid on quickly. Now we're ready to continue play. Pitch is cut on and missed, so it's 1-2 on Maroney now as Forder is back on the mound for the Colts. The 1-2 pitch from Forder to Maroney is cut on and missed, and down on strikes is Maroney. Second strikeout on the day for Forder after he got Peterson last inning. He has one out here in the bottom of inning number 2. E.J. Barnes will step to the plate for the first time today. First pitch to Barnes, just like Maroney, fouls it off first base side out of play. Oh, 0-1 on Barnes here as we play in the bottom of inning number 2 with the Pioneers on top 2-0 after 2 runs came home on a wild pitch. Wild pitches, I should say, rather, in the first. The pitch, the 0-1, is up high. It's 1-1 on E.J. Barnes and the San Jose State Spartan, who bats behind his fellow Spartan Maroney as he lines this one to left. Going back is the left fielder Vandergraaf. It's over his head. It's off the wall and bounces away from Vandergraaf. And E.J. Barnes is on his way into second. And while he rounded second as the ball got past the shortstop there, having to hold up and in at second with the double is E.J. Barnes. Struggled with his swing lately a little bit as well, similar to Yeager, but finding it there as he doubles to left. And the Pioneers have a runner on second for 5'6", as they like to call him, the little monster, Coy Carpenter. Well, he's the little monster because he plays with some flair. He is a character. Before the game, he was imitating other people's batting stances to a T. But he uses his own stance here as he bats in the bottom of the second for his first at-bat of the day and takes low from Forder. It's 1-0 on the McMurray University Warhawk, Coy Carpenter. Barnes with his lead off a second. This pitch is in the dirt as well. Good block by, well, Ryan Barnes behind the plate. E.J. Barnes is on second base as he kept that ball in front. That pitch is in there for a strike from Forder. This pitch is grounded foul over towards Chris Gabis, in the first base coach's box. Ooh, well, they're joking he should have made a play on a ball that was smoked by Coy Carpenter, foul. E.J. Barnes goes for third on the play as the pitch was also in the dirt, so no throw from Ryan Barnes, and stealing a bag is E.J. Barnes, and he's at third now with one out for Coy Carpenter, who now has a full count. Infield will stay back for the Colts, although the third baseman Smith is in at the corners, or at least on the grass. And the payoff to Carpenter is up high, and working a walk is Coy Carpenter. So to make it first and third for the leadoff man of the past week or so, Kieran Gaffney, and the accidental leadoff man, I should say, because Luke Nowak, who had a little bit of stuff going on with his eyes and had to come back here to Gehring after the first game. Wasn't even able to play in the first game, and Gaffney was put into the leadoff spot. And, well, that's where Kieran Gaffney's been the entire road trip, and that's where he stands today. And I guess if it's not broke, don't fix it. Carpenter starts and stops at first. Gaffney takes strike one. Check over on Carpenter. It's a low throw, dug out by Frame. Carpenter goes. The pitch is up and away, and it's fouled off and out of play by Gaffney. Oh, 2 on Gaffney as he talks to the home plate umpire while giving signs as Ryan Barnes behind the plate. First and third, we're in the bottom of the second with the Pioneers up 2-0 in their first of 2 exhibition games against the Australian Select Colts here at Oregon Trail Park. Carpenter stays this time. This pitch is popped up and out of play, and it goes just into the stands. The count will remain 0-2 on Gaffney. Carpenter with his lead off of first. We'll see if he goes again. Didn't go on the last pitch. He goes this time. Gaffney lines this one down the left field line. It is just foul. Carpenter doesn't even know where the ball is. And he'll have to return to first as retrieving it out of the left field corner is Vandergraaf. And about 2 feet away from most likely what would have been a double for Gaffney. And an RBI for sure. Instead, he keeps the 0-2 count on the plate. And we'll have to get the better of Forder. Wants an RBI out of this at-bat. Carpenter went on the last pitch. Will most likely stay on this one. He does indeed. Breaking ball is high from Forder, so the count goes to 1-2. Slowly working the count in his favor, hopefully, is Kieran Gaffney with Barnes off of third and Carpenter off of second. See if Carpenter goes. He stays put. A changeup. Just missed the outside corner from Forder. Trying to frame that one was Ryan Barnes behind the plate. He gets a pat on the back from the home plate umpire. Seemingly must have thought it was close at least. So it's 2-2 on 22. Kieran Gaffney as we play in the bottom of inning number 2 with 2 on. Pioneers up 2-0 and a swing and a miss by Gaffney. He's down on strikes. That's the third strikeout for Forder, second this inning after he got Maroney leading off the inning. And now it will be up to Luke Nowak. To drive in a run here for the Pioneers as they've had first and third for Gaffney with 1 out, who's just struck out. And now Nowak will bat with 2 outs. First pitch to Nowak is up high, called a strike. So it's 0-1 on Luke Nowak. Frisco, Texas native, and Paris JUCO Dragon is the left fielder. Plays a very, very good left field, and he has a good bat as well. There's an 0-1 count, and he pulls one over the head of Chris Gabus there in the first base coach's box. It's a foul ball. Out in front of pitches have been the Pioneers, and for some reason with 2 strikes, a couple guys have been late. Looking to even it out. It's Nowak here with first and third and 2 outs. Chance for the Colts to get out of it, and the Pioneers need to score runs in situations like this, especially in league games. Carpenter goes. The pitch hit Nowak. as he just froze in the batter's box. So the second walk, after a 4-pitch walk, he's hit by a pitch. And the bases will be loaded for Francisco Laya. Well, the other day, if you weren't tuned into the game, if you see Francisco Laya nodding his head and getting right over the plate on a pitch that's very, very close, just know he's seeing the pitch as well, and he most likely will get on base. And that happened the other day in the game in which the Pioneers took the lead on his double. It was a 2 RBI double. He has the bases loaded here with 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Takes that pitch up high from Forder. The 1-0 from the right-handers in the dirt. Good block by Ryan Barnes behind the plate, keeping it in front and keeping E.J. Barnes from scoring as he pats his pitcher on the back as he gives him the ball. Barnes off of third. Carpenter off of second. Nowak recently hit by a pitch off of first. 2-0 count on Laya as we play in the bottom of the second. 2-0 Pioneers. The pitch is up high, and it's 3-0 now on Cisco. Is out of the zone. It's ball 4. Waiting for a delayed reaction. Didn't get any reaction from the home plate umpire, Ben Ayotte, and it's a walk and an RBI for Francisco Laya. And the Pioneers are on top as E.J. Barnes touches home 3-0. Trip to the mound, or maybe even a pitching change. We'll see. Have to look down in the bullpen. There is an arm throwing down there for the Colts. Of course, don't know how many arms they have over the course of their tour here in the States. Of course, they were in Fort Collins. I believe they go back to Denver after this. And they go to Kansas as well. Either way, they're here in Gehring for the next 2 days. Playing the Western Nebraska Pioneers as Jackson Yeager bats with the bases loaded. Laya's off of first now. Nowak stands off of second, and Coy Carpenter is the runner on third with Omaha, Nebraska native Jackson Yeager at the plate as he takes ball 1 from Forder. Outside and up. 1-0. One Yeager, who wears number 33, playing first base today. He walked his first time. Was stranded at second base to end the first. The 1-0 pitch is out in front is Yeager as well early on that one. It's 1-1 as he swings through that pitch from Forder. One. Up and away. Good job by Barnes again. Keep the pitch from going to the backstop. That last inning went to the backstop. So it's 2-1 with Carpenter off of third, Nowak on second, and Laya off of first. 3-0 here. Pioneers lead with just 1 hit in the ball game in the bottom of the third. This pitch is drilled to left field. Going back is Vandergraaf. He's there. He makes the play, and the Pioneers leave the bases loaded. They do get 1 across as Barnes scores on the RBI walk for Francisco Laya. And at the end of 2, the Pioneers lead it 3-0. Back here as we get set to start the top of the third for the Pioneers. They pitch to the Australian Select Colts with Paul Panduro on the mound. And he deals ball one to the batter and three-hole hitter Ryan Clark. 1-0 is in there for a strike from Panduro. One. Here's a front door slider. He gets the call, 1-2. Stepping out of the box now is Clark. He has a 1-2 count starting the top of the third as he leads off for the Colts here against Paul Panduro. This pitch is inside. Count goes to 2-2. On the right-handed swing, designated hitter. Two is in there for strike three. Down on strikes and caught looking is Ryan Clark. Here to start the top of the third. The fourth strikeout for Panduro. He does have 5 walks on the day, but he's been able to get the strikeouts. As he gets the K there of Ryan Clark, and he'll deal to Gavin Clenert. Clenert from Doha, Qatar. First pitch, checked his swing. Did he go? No, says the first base umpire on the appeal. The count is 1-0 to start the second at-bat for Clenert. Panduro deals up and out of the zone to Clenert, who he walked his first time back in the first inning. And it was a second walk of 3 consecutive walks to load the bases with 2 outs. 2-0 count to the right-handed swinging center fielder who fouls this one back. It's 2-1. Clenert with the Air Jordan cleats, the all white with the black logo. Has a 2-1 count. Swings through that one on the outside part of the plate and down in the zone from Panduro. It's 2-2. Looking to get back-to-back strikeouts here is Panduro. As he deals a front door slider. Called strike 3. He gets the call from the home plate umpire. Back-to-back strikeouts looking of the Colts players by Panduro. Clenert didn't like that call at all. And personally from up here in the box, it looked a little bit inside. But Panduro will take his 5th strikeout on the day. It's his 4th in the last 6 batters. He deals to number 4, Ethan Ward, who swings and misses at the first pitch on a fastball on the outside corner. So 1. The 0-1 from Panduro is in there for strike 2 and quickly ahead. Excuse me, that was not called a strike by the home plate umpire. certainly looked good over the plate. Might have been a little bit in. Ward stands a little bit off the plate. The 1-1 is on the inside part of the plate again. Too far inside, 2-1. I was certain that that second pitch from Panduro was strike two. And calling time at the plate is Ward, as Panduro is looking to work super quickly. Every time Ward picks his head up, Panduro's ready to throw his next pitch. Pitch number 62 will be the next one for Panduro as he deals in the third inning. He went to 90 pitches about a week ago. And the pitch is low to Ward, who backs out of the plate. Three one. He's in there for a strike. So it's 3-2 and a full count here. Looking to strike out the side is Panduro, as he has a chance to do so if he can get Ward on this pitch. And that pitch just missed. Looked lower than the last one, but 2 walks for Ethan Ward in his first 2 at-bats of the day. And, well, he can still strike out the side. It just won't be in order. Yes, he'll deal to Grady Smith. First pitch misses the zone. And the second pitch is just outside. Pitch is in the dirt, and it is a walk to Grady Smith. Back-to-back walks for Panduro once again with 2 outs. So he struggles to find the zone. He's battling his command today. So it probably wouldn't be hard to tell given the number of walks he's had. He's had at least 2 in each inning and 3 in the first. He deals the first pitch to Jackson Frame. That one's in there for a strike. There's an 0-1 count on the first baseman who walked his first time, was stranded at third. Flaring this one down the right field line, go foul ball, it will. And it's 0-2 on Frame now, who had a late swing. As Francisco Laya went to retrieve that baseball, and Frame gets back in the box. Runners on first and second with 2 outs here in the top of the third. The Pioneers are on top 3-0. All the runs have come home on a wild pitch or a walk. Pickoff behind the runner at first, who's back with a dive. The ball came out of Yeager, and that was Grady Smith, who got back in time to first base. It's a 1-2 count on Frame. First and second for the Colts. Slide step, slider, bounced foul towards the coach in the third base coach's box. So the count holds at 1-2. It's the right-handed swinging Frame. Calls time. Stepping out on Panduro. And now we're ready for play as we continue with the at-bat with Jackson Frame with 2 outs here in the top of the third. High pitch count for Panduro, who deals a 1-2. And that was just up in the zone. It's 2-2 now. So it's a 2-2 count on Frame with first and second. The pitch is in there for strike 3, so striking out the side. No baseballs were put in play that inning for the Colts, as there were 2 walks and 3 strikeouts. And Panduros threw 3 on 73 pitches, and at the end of 2.5, the Pioneers have a 3-0 lead. Back here as we get set to start the bottom of the third. It's a new pitcher on the mound for the Australian Select Colts. It's Kason Ludeman from Juneau, Alaska. Wearing number 7 is Ludeman. He is still just 17 years old, but he's 6'2" and 155. The shortstop, pitcher, outfielder, and first baseman. There's the right-hander from Alaska, as he'll deal to Bryce Peterson, Ronan Hella, and Jake Maroney to lead off the third inning here. For Forder, he went 2 innings, 1 hit, 3 runs. Of course, the 5 walks and the 4 wild pitches, well, including the pass ball, do not help for him out there on the mound. And he did strike out 3, however. Struck out 2 in his last inning. And he turns the ball over to Ludeman. A lot of these kids on this roster, there's some kids who are 24, like Forder. There are a couple kids who are 15, 16, and 17, and a couple kids who are 22 and 21 as well. So a variety of ages. As Bryce Peterson drills a ball to center field, Clenert loses his hat as he goes back towards the wall, and he's just shy of the track where he makes the play. And out number 1 as Bryce Peterson gave that first pitch a good ride. It brings in Ronan Hella, who flew out to Clenert in center field as last time. First pitch to Hella is cued over to the first baseman Frame, who fields it, takes it to the bag himself. And the first base coach, not the first base coach, but the head coach is coming out and reminding the pitcher, Ludeman, hey, on a ball hit to the right side, you have to go over and cover and make sure that you're helping out Jackson Frame, because if that ball is wide over there for Frame and towards the hole between first and second, well, who's going to be covering the bag? Frame isn't going to race Ronan Hella to the bag. Ronan Hella's dad ran the 4x4, so I can tell you Ronan Hella knows how to run as well. Of course, Ludeman just still 17 years old. So sometimes on the mound, there's stuff that you forget at a young age. He deals a strike to Jake Maroney as he's gotten the first 2 outs here in the bottom of the third, with the Pioneers up 3-0. And he deals an 0-1 to the catcher for the Pioneers. It's outside, 1-1. One pitch is grounded towards the right side. Well, learning from last time is Ludeman as Frame goes down to the ground. Made a heck of a play, but then he threw it past his pitcher Ludeman, and Maroney belly flops into second base as the throw went past his pitcher over there. So I think it'll be an infield single is what I'm going to give Maroney on that one. But he's going to move to second base on the E3 by the first baseman Frame. He made a heck of a play. He went down to the ground in the dirt on a play to his right. And he went to go throw it to his pitcher. And, well, to be quite frank, he threw it past his pitcher, Ludeman. Instead of leading him to the bag, he whipped a quick throw over there towards first. Then it went past his pitcher and landed off the dugout of the Colts. And Jake Maroney, as soon as he saw that, because he was not at the base yet, would have been out at first base. Took a turn like he was hitting a base hit or a double down the line and went straight for second base and was in there with a belly flop. Carson Bevel runs for Jake Maroney at second base as E.J. Barnes bats after having doubled last time off of Forder. The first pitch is lined towards right center field. That ball will get down. Fielding it is Ethan Ward. Coming around is Carson Bevel as he almost stumbled coming into the plate. But E.J. Barnes gets his second hit of the day. It's an RBI single to right center field. And the Pioneers are on top here 4-0, thanks in part to the single by E.J. Barnes. And unfortunately, the error that came from the first baseman, Jackson Frame. Again, a lot of these kids are young, still in high school or just starting college in Australia or wherever they should be going. Of course, there are some at TAFs and schools here in the U.S. Coy Carpenter swings against Ludeman and fouls this one off. Third base side, down the left field line and out of play. Oh, 0-1 is the count. Carpenter. Barnes off of first after his RBI single that extended the Pioneers' lead to 4-0 here. Throw over to first, goes off of the glove of Frame. Not far enough for Barnes to go anywhere. Barnes goes. The pitch is outside. Barnes, the other Barnes, Ryan Barnes, didn't get a handle on it, and E.J. Barnes is in at second base. Barnes on Barnes. As E.J. gets the stolen base off of the catcher, Ryan Barnes there. Didn't get a handle. He's stealing it off of the pitcher, Ludeman, but Ryan Barnes was not able to get a handle behind the plate. The pitch was a ball, so it's 1-1 on Coy. Carpenter bounces one foul just wide of the first base bag. Pushing the count to 1-2. One-two on the center fielder for the Pioneers. Swings it from the left side. Barnes off of second after his second stolen base of the day. He's going for third. Pitch is inside. The throw down is not in time. That's the second consecutive stolen base of third base for E.J. Barnes. That's his third bag on the day. And the pitch was inside. I believe it's 2-2. Indeed it is, as the scoreboard changes now to number 2, Coy Carpenter. Ludeman goes into the windup, is home with the pitch, is lined up the middle into center field. That's an RBI single for Coy Carpenter, manufactured by E.J. Barnes. Pioneers on top 5-0 now as Carpenter went down and got a pitch, possibly out of the zone, if not at the knees. He singles home E.J. Barnes. Pioneers are on top 5-0 now. Exhibition, so should they get anywhere close to the run rule, I don't know if that will happen. Kieran Gaffney either way will bat now, with the Pioneers up 5-0 here in the bottom of inning number 3. Pitch is off of the glove of Barnes. A lot of activity for him behind the plate. Carpenter moved to second. Now, Gaffney struck out his last time, but he walked his first time up. Drills the ball to center field. Clenert going back. The wind pulled that one down. Boy, that one sounded good off of the bat from Kieran Gaffney. Or maybe it's just the audio picking up through my headset. But Gaffney is out number 3. And at the end of 3, the Pioneers get another 2. They stand on top 5-0 of the Select Colts. Well, Paul Pandero's day is done, and I forgot to mention them in the pregame show, but there are 2 brand new Pioneers on this club. They are Rowan O'Connor and the man on the mound, who is going to be teammates with Brody Fanistock in the fall, Andrew Landis. Now, Landis is typically a shortstop, but hey, the Pioneers need arms, so everybody's going to pitch, and we know that, speaking from our second baseman today in Ronan Hello. Landis, 6'1", from Rochester, Michigan, 30 miles to the north of Detroit. And as I mentioned, goes to the same school as Brody Fanistock. They'll both be freshmen. So he deals the first pitch high to his first batter, and that is Ryan Barnes, who's had a tough day behind the plate, has the young catcher who fouls this pitch off, so it's 1-1. Barnes just turned 17 years old. So quite the experience for him, I'm sure. One pitch. Tapped to the right side, and it rolls foul, and it touches the grass, and it's coming back fair, and it hit the bag? No, it did not hit the bag. Barnes was standing on first base. Landis, it looked like the ball was about to touch the bag and roll back fair. They say foul ball, so I guess Barnes will return to the plate. Now that ball rolled from fair territory. Hey, change over there at first base. That's Aiden Young over there at first base. Apologies, just noticing that right now, but it's Aiden Young over there at first, so we'll have to see if Jackson Yeager is all right. But here in the fourth, Aiden Young takes over at first base. Now that ball rolled from fair territory into foul territory, then hit the grass again and was rolling back fair right at first base, and three things converged at first base. The ball, Ryan Barnes, and Andrew Landis, and yet it was all just a foul ball. The 1-2 from Landis is down and away. It's 2-2 to the young catcher for the Colts. Two. Again, down and away with a breaking ball is Landis. It's 3-2 now as the count goes full. And the full count. Fastball down the middle. Strike three. Andrew Landis gets his first strikeout. That's the second strikeout for Barnes. This is the second time he's down looking today. A rough day so far for him as he's struggled at the plate. And, well, it was not easy for him behind the plate so far today. And Kai Chapelski will bat now against Landis. He swings through the first pitch, does Chapelski. The 0-1 is down and away. It's 1-1 now from Landis. So that one was in the dirt to Kai Chapelski. Chapelski struck out his first time on a drop third against Panduro, and his 1-1 count. The pitch from Landis is outside. It's 2-1. As you listen to Pioneers Baseball here on KNEB Radio and on the Western Nebraska Pioneers YouTube page, Pioneers are playing the first of two exhibition games against the Australian Select Colts. The 2-1 is a hard pitch from Landis there. He was throwing well on the mound. He's up to 87 right now. That pitch is up and out of the zone. It's 3-1. The 3-1 pitch as he looks to find the zone. That's the eighth walk combined between Panduro and Landis. As Kai Chapelski is on with a walk out of the 9 spot. That brings the top of the order and Cody Vandergroff up to the plate. With one out here in the top of inning number 4. Pitch is up and out of the zone. 1-0. That's also not Coy Carpenter in center field. It's Cole Weiland. So Carpenter is also out of the ball game here. Looking out in center field and realizing that is not somebody who throws left-handed. That's somebody who throws right-handed. Weiland. So looks like Sharkey's making the changes as well. Maroney's calling time. That pitch was also out of the zone. And he's going to talk to Landis. It's a 3-0 count on the leadoff man, Vandergroff. Pioneers have already walked 8 guys so far today. 8 Colts have walked. Almost everybody in the order has a walk outside of Ryan Barnes and Zach Durbin, who stands on deck in a 3-0 count, although don't remember Durbin being a left-handed hitter. There's a left-handed hitter on deck. The 3-0 is in there for a strike. It's 3-1. Yeah, Durbin is a right-handed swinger. That could be Zach Schwartz on deck. This ball's grounded up the middle. E.J. Barnes to his left. It bobbles off of his body. It will be an infield single. That's the first hit of the ball game for the Colts. They get one up the middle, and on with an infield single is Cody Vandergraaf. Safe at second, of course, is Chapelski. And need to find out who this is. It looks like it might be a 9 on the jersey. It's hard to tell. I believe that's an 8. It is Zach Durbin. He's listed as a right-handed hitter, however. That's why it threw me off. Seeing him on deck as he fouls this one off down the left field line, giving it a chase are both Peterson and Nowak. The ball lands in no man's land for strike one. Yoan. Inside, backing away from the plate is Durbin. 89 from Andrew Landis on the mound. Hard throwing. He's the typical shortstop who's committed to Oakland University in Michigan. He deals another pitch down low and don't need velocity here. Just need strikes. The count is 2-1. Of course, throwing the pitch over the middle of the plate is not the right idea, and it's not that easy to throw strikes at the end of the day. But he has a 2-1 count as he deals pitch number 20 of the inning to the left-handed swinging Zach Durbin, who once again fouls it off third base side, so the count pushes to 2-2. And with the 2-2 count, Landis checks the runner at second, and he's home with the pitch to Durbin. It's down and in, so the count goes full here with one out and runners on first and second for the Colts. They just got their first hit of the day. This pitch is bounced over towards Hella. On 2 hops, he flips it to Barnes at second for 1, who fakes the throw to first and throws to third. As they were not going to get Durbin, who has solid speed over there. And nothing doing at third base. Tried to see if Chapelski would round the bag, but he held on. So out on the force out is Vandergraaf. Reaching at first base is Zach Durbin. As now there's runners on first and third. For Ryan Clark. He takes strike one from Andrew Landis at 88 on the gun. On the outside corner for strike one. 2 outs. We're in the top of inning number 4. Paul Panduro threw 73 pitches in his 3 innings of work. Andrew Landis is already at 24 pitches. So these Colts are making the pitchers work at least. They stayed in the game against the Fort Collins Foxes as the pitch is down and away. It's 1-1 on Ryan Clark. Clark from Portland, Oregon. He's still just 19 years old. He stands 5'10", 190. The 1-1 from Landis is down and away, 2-1. Landis just arrived yesterday. Rowan O'Connor just got here today. And the pitch. He's in there on the inside part of the plate. 1-2. With runners on first and third and 2 outs. Landis throws a breaking ball, front doored it on Clark, and he didn't get the call. A good pitch by Andrew Landis there. Front door means he's throwing it on the inside part of the plate to the batter. And it was just a little bit too far inside. So the count will go full. So off with the pitch will be the runner on first, Durbin. Chapelski will hold this position at third, as there's nobody at second. Young plays behind Durbin, who goes on the pitch, and it's fouled off. So a little bit of conditioning for Zach Durbin, and we'll repeat the 3-2 count with Ryan Clark at the plate. It's 5-0 Pioneers. We play in the top of inning number 4. Andrew Landis, one of the newest Pioneers, is on the mound. He's looking to get through his first inning of work. And he deals his payoff pitch. Cut on and miss. Down on strikes is Clark. That ends the top of the 4th inning. The first and second strikeouts of the season for Andrew Landis. At the end of 3.5, the Pioneers are on top 5-0.
Western Nebraska, a Pioneers official software partner. Don't forget you can get your ice cold Pepsi at the concession stands now. Fans of Pirates will be battling home action again tomorrow for Game 2 of their homestand against the Australian side Colts. The first pitch scheduled for 6:35.
Back here as we get set to start the bottom of the 4th. And the Pioneers will start it off with Luke Nowak, second in the order. They lead it 5-0 here. As once again, we start the bottom of inning number 4. The infield looks all the same. Of course, with it being exhibition, the Colts don't carry a lot on their team, so they want all these guys that are on this team to be playing for most of the ball game. Now, the Pioneers have made a couple changes already defensively, in which we've seen Cole Weiland go into center field. Aiden Young will bat third this inning, as he took over for Jackson Yeager at first base. So if guys are getting a couple of at-bats, and then it most likely will be that they'll come out of the ball game, a la spring training in the major leagues. Ludeman is still on the mound, as he deals to Nowak way outside as it goes back to the backstop, and it's 1-0 on the left-handed swinging outfielder from Frisco, Texas. The 1-0 from Ludeman is outside, 2-0. Nowak on the day. Well, he's reached via the walk twice. He was walked the original time in the first, and he was hit by a pitch. Here's a 2-0 count here, leading off the 4th. That pitch just misses outside, so it's 3-0. And looking to walk for the third time today is Luke Nowak. This pitch, similar to a BP fastball there, just trying to get it over the plate was Ludeman. And fouling it off was Nowak, who had the green light there. Good crowd here on a fill-the-park night, as we play exhibition games here at Oregon Trail Park Stadium in the middle of the year between the Western Nebraska Pioneers and the Australian Select Colts. 3-1 pitch. Up high, ball 4. Third walk on the day for Luke Nowak as he leads off here in the 4th. What's new? Nowak getting on base with his on-base percentage up in the 600s. Francisco Laya, La Guaira, Venezuela. He's home. Of course, the home of Ronald Acuna Jr. as well. La Bestia is what he likes to be called, which is the Beast. First pitch to Laya. He's up high. It's 1-0. Nowak off of first. The 1-0 is fouled off of the foot of Laya, and it looks like that might have caught the catcher behind the plate as well. Laya's bouncing around, but I think he's coming to check on the catcher as well, Ryan Barnes, because he got a piece of him either on the actual swing or on the backswing. And boy, that was dangerous because Barnes knew exactly what happened, and I think Laya did as well, because even though he fouled that ball off, the 20-year-old checks on just the 17-year-old, the kid that just turned 17 behind the plate, who's on a knee right now. They're making sure that he's all right. The only person who's all right behind the plate is Ben Ayotte. He's the only man that's in that area of home plate right now who has nothing going on with him. Ryan Barnes says he's all right. Please give me my helmet and my mask. Laya gives him a little bit of dap and a hug and takes his bat from Coach Zach Smith. I think Barnes is going to be all right. Umpire Ben Ayotte is still going to wipe off the plate and give everybody some more time. Laya still limping around after fouling that pitch off of his foot. He honestly seems to be in worse shape than Ryan Barnes behind the plate, who looked like he caught a backswing to the side of the head. 1-1 is the count as we continue the at-bat. Everybody stayed in the game, which is always good to see. The 1-1 from Ludeman to Laya, who does not get a piece of Barnes on this one. Pops it up to shallow center field. Coming on is Clenert, and he's not going to get there as he was playing deep in center field. It will go down as a hit for Francisco Laya to center field on a bloop single, and Clenert was playing quite deep there, and that's what allowed the single to fall. And Nowak smartly played it about 2/3 of the way as Aiden Young steps to the plate, and Nowak reached second. First and second, nobody out. Aiden Young will come to the plate with Cooper Burgess on deck. Cooper Burgess is on deck with Aiden Young at the plate, pinch hitting for Yeager. Swings and drills one to center field. Going to his right and over towards the gap is Clenert. He dives. He's not going to get there. It goes past him. It's a race between Nowak and Laya, who was right behind Luke Nowak on his way to the plate. Touching home is Nowak and Laya as he has a little laugh with Nowak as he was racing him around the bases. And it's a 2 RBI double for Aiden Young to left center field. A great effort out there by Gavin Clenert, who was just able to not get there in time as that ball just landed underneath his glove. And Aiden Young finds his swing and also finds himself getting 2 more RBIs on the double to left center field. Laya, who seemingly thought that ball was going to fall and could play it a little bit riskier being at first base, would have been harder to be doubled up from left center field by Clenert, was standing about 5 feet from second base while Nowak was standing on second base. And once that ball got past Clenert, Laya was keeping pace with Nowak right behind him the whole way from second all the way to the plate. And it was really a race to see if Nowak would outrun Laya. Of course, Laya can't pass him. Cooper Burgess steps to the plate, getting an at-bat here as he enters the game for Bryce Peterson and takes strike one. The 0-1 to Burgess is down low. Aiden Young stays over there at second base, after his double. 2 more runs come home. The Pioneers are on top 7-0 here. And Burgess Spring Branch, Texas native, swings at that pitch, pops it up, foul territory. Barnes going over by the screen, and it bounces off of the concrete by the screen and will just be a foul ball, and strike two on Burgess. Kobe Akawa's walking down to the bullpen, so we'll see who's warming up for the Pioneers in a little bit. Of course, Lia's foot seems to be all right after he fouled it off of his foot as he was running right behind Nowak on that 2 RBI double by Aiden Young. Outfield shifted to the pole side for Cooper Burgess, who has a 1-2 count at the plate. A changeup of some sort from Ludeman is high, and it's 2-2 now. We're in the bottom of inning number 4. The Pioneers have scored in each inning, and they have a 7-0 lead as of right now. Aiden Young's off of second after entering the game for Yeager with a 2 RBI double. Burgess has a 2-2 count. He grounds one to the right side, so it will go down as a quality AB for Cooper Burgess, who grounds out to second base in his first at-bat of the day. Moving to third is Aiden Young, and that will bring Ronan Hella to the plate. Not a bad at-bat for Burgess, who was frustrated with the amount of times he struck out so far this season. Now, Ronan Hell is 0 for 2 on the day, one of the few guys to not reach base. Bryce Peterson was one of the others, but Peterson doesn't have the opportunity to anymore as he's out of this ball game because Burgess hit for him. So Ronan Hella will look to get on base here with Aiden Young on third. Inside, it goes to the backstop. Getting out of the way was Ronan Hella, and a slide from Aiden Young, who tries not to damage the mask of Ryan Barnes that ended up being right on home plate. And scoring on the wild pitch is Aiden Young. It's 8-0 now, Pioneers, as we play in the bottom of inning number 4. Of course, it's exhibition games. A lot of young kids on this Australian Select Colts team. The 1-0 is up and away. 2-0. Two and 1 as Ronan Hella swings through that one on the pitch from Ludeman. This pitch is popped up, foul territory. Going over is Smith. This one's going to land in the stands. It lands by the flyover Brewing party deck on the third base side. 2-2 is the count on Hella. Two and two with 1 out. 3 home for the Pioneers. And the pitch from Ludeman to Hella. Reaching out and poking that one towards short. A long throw over there is a bit wide of the first baseman frame on the throw from Durbin. And reaching safely at first base is Hella. We'll see how they score it. Hella was getting down the line, and there was an opportunity in which I personally think it would have been an infield hit. They scored an E6, but reaching for the first time today is Ronan Hella. As he will bat. As he will reach first with Jake Maroney coming to the plate with E.J. Barnes on deck. Pitch is down and away. It's 1-0. And the pitch to Maroney with hell off of first is lined, and it hits the top of the press box. And it lands on the netting just in front of the camera here to the right side in the other room of the press box. Throw over to Hella. Chris Gabus has so much gear over there at first base. He's had Nowak. He's had Laya. He had some stuff from Aiden Young, who might have brought it to the third base side, and now he has Ronan Hella's stuff. So four or five player stuff as he's holding them in his hands like he's cradling a baby over there in the first base coach's box, still trying to do his job, making sure Ronan Hella doesn't get picked off. Pitch is up and out of the zone. It's 2-1 on Jake Maroney. And the pitch, fouled back on a pitch on the outside part of the plate. Chasing there was Maroney. So the count goes to 2-2. Hella off of first. After he reached on an error. Maroney at the plate. Hella goes, a breaking ball. The throw down from Barnes is wide. Hella in there with an awkward slide. It's a stolen base for Ronan Hella. He says, if you guys aren't going to give me an infield single on it, I'll at least get the stolen base. Maroney was called out on strikes on that play. I thought that pitch was high, but it's the second strikeout on the day for Jake Maroney, and E.J. Barnes will come to the plate. Barnes on the day, two hits, a double and a single. Throw behind Hella at second base. He's back in time standing up. Pitch is 1-0, and they're going to call a balk on Ludeman. So no pitch, a balk. Hella moves to third. I don't think he came set. I believe the count's still going to be 0-0 on E.J. Barnes. Ludeman now in the windup will deal his first pitch. Flared down the right field line. Well, they're shaded towards left field, and that's going to be a hit for E.J. Barnes, who rounds first, and he's headed for second for his second double of the day. He's in there with a feet first slide. Hella comes home to score. The Pioneers get another run, and it's another hit for E.J. Barnes. This one's another double. It's an RBI double this time, so back-to-back hits with an RBI for E.J. Barnes. This time he went to right field. 3 for 3 on the day is E.J. Scoring was Hella. Fourth run of the inning for the Pioneers. Pitching mound visit. And Cole Weiland will get his first at-bat hitting for Coy Carpenter as he was in defensively to start the game. He just entered for Coy Carpenter, of course. It wasn't like Carpenter can't play defense because we saw him go and track some balls down in Hayes. This ball's hit down the right field line by Weiland. He does better than E.J. Barnes as he hits this one to the wall. He's rounding first. He's on his way to second, and you know what? He's going to round second and head into third. And in there with a beat first slide and an RBI triple is Cole Weiland. Another great job of going the other way, and he gets an RBI. His first at-bat of the day, as it has become a beatdown of the Colts for the Pioneers. Coming home was E.J. Barnes. This is Rowan O'Connor. He's going to get his first at-bat. Rowan O'Connor is entering the game for Gaffney at the DH. That pitch clipped him. Well, welcome to the Pioneers, Rowan O'Connor. Your first AB. He gets hit by a pitch. Pioneers have batted around now, as Gaffney was the only guy who hadn't batted here, but he was pinch hit for by O'Connor. Not Jay O'Connor, no relation, of course. Garen Gledhill will pinch hit now. Everybody is changing, of course, with everything going on. Weiland has an RBI triple. He stands at third. He scored Barnes. Then Rowan O'Connor from Gonzaga University made his first appearance. He was hit by a pitch immediately. The Pioneers have batted around. And now Garen Gledhill from Las Vegas and Saracoso comes to the plate. He fouls the first pitch back. The Pioneers have batted around, and Gledhill is the seventh batter in the inning. Pops the second pitch up in foul territory down the left field line. Going over is Smith. Did he make the play? He did. That ends the inning, as Gledhill is the first out. Ryan Johnston was also on deck. And Carson Bevel's already making his way. At the end of four, the Pioneers lead it 10-0. This is a crapshoot.
Roger on the third base side, who was the winner of the Vintage Pest Control giveaway, and still the top sponsor who brought tickets for tonight's game for all the fans. Give it up for Vintage Pest Control and Roger. Back to you, Bill.
All right, thanks, Randy. Thanks for Randy. Vintage Pest Control, not only sponsoring that giveaway, but providing fans with tickets for tonight's game.
back here on KNDB Radio. I had to talk to the people in the other booth because we have 9 changes, and there's everybody out of the ball game. We'll get you through it as the batter is Clenert. Gavin Clenert is the batter, with Andrew Landis dealing to him, and it was a 2-0 pitch, and Clenert bounced one in front of the plate, and Landis, being a shortstop that he is, makes the play. So the Pioneers scored 5 in last inning. That made it 10-0. Third to first in the infield, Burgess, Farrell, Bevel, and Aiden Young. And we'll go right to left in the outfield. It's Johnston, Weiland, and Garen Gledhill, who will throw left-handed because he's in the outfield. And you know what? That was not an out. Gavin Clenert is returning to the batter's box. It's a good thing I have not written that down yet. And the pitch is a strike. We're in the top of inning number 5 here in this exhibition game. And the pitch was a ball. It's 3-2, excuse me. 3-2 count, nobody out. And the 3-2 is in there, strike 3. And down on strikes is Clenert for the first out. And he's down on strikes for the second time. The pitch to the batter, Ethan Ward, is a strike on the outside corner. And there's just one out here. The Pioneers are up 10-0. Andrew Landis is on the mound. And every single starter is out of the game with their replacements in the game. Of course, not necessarily to say that they are the backups. But the guys that weren't starting today are now in the game. We're in the top of inning number 5. The Pioneers batted around last inning. Andrew Landis looking to get a strikeout here for the second out, and what would be his 3rd consecutive strikeout going back to last inning. That pitch is in there. Strike 3. Kobayakawa makes the catch, and down on strikes is Ethan Ward here in the top of inning number 5. Last inning, the Pioneers got 5 runs on 4 hits. They left 2 runners on base, and there was an error in the inning on the shortstop, Durbin. Now there's 2 outs, and the batter is Grady Smith. And the pitch is a strike from Landis. And that one is cut on and missed. It's an 0-2 count for Landis on the mound. The 0-2, cut on and missed. Dropped third. Kobayakawa needs to throw to first to complete the strikeout. He does. That ends the top of the 5th. Carrying the side is Andrew Landis. Kobayakawa didn't know the count. Excuse me, it's 1-2 now. So the inning is not over, in fact. Everybody else thought the inning was over. They thought it was 0-2. Even Grady Smith thought he had 2 strikes. He swung and ran to first, but the inning's not over.
Fans, 2 minutes remaining in our current half-price promo. 2 minutes.
So it's a 1-2 count as Grady Smith gets back in the batter's box.
Next batter, third baseman number 15, Grady Smith.
With a 1-2 count, Landis deals the pitch. Now he's down on strikes. That ends the inning. No need to throw to first. Kobayakawa caught it. 4 consecutive strikeouts for Landis as he gets through the 5th inning. He's up to 43 pitches now. And at the end of 4.5, the Pioneers lead at 10-0. Exhibition games are the worst. I just want you to know that. Okay? Aiden, I'm not like that other woman. Jeez. You should come see my side of the school. Writing in people's names because everybody's coming out of the game. Like it just looks ridiculous. Meanwhile, their side looks clean, so they won't take anybody out. Back here on KNEB Radio, and like I said, the lineup now started at Gaffney, Nowak, Laya, Yeager, Peterson, Hella, Maroney, Barnes, Carpenter. Well, the lineup is nowhere near the same now. It's Rowan O'Connor, Garen Gledhill, and to start off this bottom of the fifth, it will be Ryan Johnston, Aiden Young, and Cooper Burgess, followed by Carson Bevel, Jin Kobayakawa, Brooks Farrell, and Cole Weiland. So none of the starters are in the game. Getting rid of their designated hitter is the Australian Select Colts, because their designated hitter, Ryan Clark, is taking over on the mound. So Clark takes over on the mound. Ryan Johnston will get his first at-bat in quite some time for the Pioneers, followed by Young and Burgess, as I mentioned. The young catcher, Ryan Barnes, still behind the plate for the Australian Select Colts. He's done a pretty solid job so far today, and he looks to get better. Just turned 17 years old, so quite the experience for him. Also may not be the last time he's behind the plate in a very, very long game. Everything looks the same for the Colts. Again, they are a young team traveling the country with a lot of kids coming from outside of the United States. Clark ready to deal his first pitch to Johnson. He deals a fastball outside corner just off the plate at 85 for the designated hitter, who's turned now pitcher. Kicks and deals is a 1-0. It's a swing and a miss from Johnston. Again, 85 miles an hour. And man wearing Willie Mays' number on the back, Ryan Clark with number 24. Deals a 2-1. Deals a 1-1, excuse me. It's low, making the count 2-1 on to Ryan Johnston from York Community College. Swing and a miss by Johnston. He's behind in the count now. 2-2. The 2-2 pitch is on the outside corner. Down on strikes is Johnston. He's out number one. And that will bring in Aiden Young. Young doubled to left center field last time off of Ludeman on a great effort by Clenert, and the ball just landed under his glove and got past him. Young's first AB against Clark. He drills a ball to center field. Going back is Clenert. He's at the wall, and he did not play it right. It lands over to the left of him. Aiden Young, who's been thrown out already trying to stretch a ball into a triple this year, goes into third standing up, and he's in there with a triple now. No throwing him out at third this time. Aiden Young stretches that one into a triple to dead central. Clenert was going back towards left center by the Prairie sign out there, the Prairie Lodge sign out there in center field, and it landed over by the 385 sign, so he got twisted around a little bit, did the center fielder, and that ball fell, and Aiden Young didn't bother sliding. Well, he also wasn't helped out by his third base coach, Eli Stevens. We didn't tell him to slide. Now Cooper Burgess gets an at-bat, and the first pitch is in there for a strike with a runner on third. Burgess had a productive at-bat last time, moving Young over to third. This time he'll look to drive him in here with one out in the bottom of the fifth, and the Pioneers up 10-0. Exhibition baseball for the Pioneers. Throwing 85-86 consistently on the mound is Ryan Clark. This pitch is well inside. It goes hard off the backstop and not going anywhere over there. At third base is Aiden Young. The 1-1, 2-1, excuse me, is out of the zone. It's 3-1. The 3-1 misses the zone. It's outside, and it's a walk for Cooper Burgess in front of Carson Bevel as Burgess reaches for the first time today. And now Bevel will hit for Hella. First of few at-bats on the season so far for Bevel, but he gets an opportunity here in the exhibition game. And the first pitch to Bevel is in there for a strike from Clark. This pitch is foul tipped into the mitt by Bevel. He's quickly behind 0-2 in the count. Jinkobi Akawa stands on deck, ready for his first at-bat. And it's an 0-2 count. Burgess off at first. Overthrowing on that one is Clark. It's up and out of the zone. 1-2 to Carson Bevel, wearing number 9 from Fargo, North Dakota. Right near the border of Minnesota is Fargo. So far, it almost might be considered Minnesota. Pitch is at the knees. And down on strikes is Bevel. The second strikeout in the inning for Ryan Clark. Jin Kobayakawa from Yokosuka, Japan, steps to the plate. Gets his first at-bat of the day, taking over from Maroney behind the plate. Giving up 7 hits was Ludeman in his 2 innings of work. It doesn't sound right. It should be 8. Pardon me, there's already been a hit this inning. That was the triple by Aiden Young. I was trying to add up my numbers between the 2 pitchers and the one on the board, and I forgot about the triple this inning. Burgess was going on the play. He overslid second base, and he is tagged out to end the inning. So Jin Kobayakawa will have to wait until next inning. Caught stealing 2-4 is Burgess oversliding the bag. That ends the 5th, and we head to the 6th with the Pioneers holding a 10-0 lead. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball on KNEB Radio and the Western Nebraska Pioneers YouTube page. Well, taking over for Andrew Landis on the mound is none other than Coach J.J. O'Connor. I told you this is an exhibition game, so it is a different situation in terms of what goes on. The Pioneers didn't get a run. They had a hit last inning, no errors, and they left 2 runners on base. Taking over for Landis on the mound is Coach J. O'Connor. Coach J. O'Connor, the Australian, deals low on his first pitch. See if we can get the radar gun on Coach J, who deals a pitch in there. Just missed the zone. 2-0 as he deals to Jackson Frame. This pitch is hit in the air towards shallow left field. Going out is Farrell. He's in shallow left. Makes the play, recording the first out for O'Connor on the mound. Coach J, of course, is the pitching coach, so he shouldn't be giving up any runs, ladies and gentlemen. All jokes aside, he was looking forward to this opportunity, giving the chance to play. As he deals a pitch in there for a strike, as he deals to Ryan Barnes, the young 17-year-old catcher, who's done a solid job. And I talk about him because he just turned 17 years old, just a little bit under 3 months ago. Throwback from Kobe Akawa doesn't reach O'Connor. Wind up and the kick. And the pitch is grounded up the middle. Going to his left is Farrell, and it gets past him into center field. It's a base hit for Ryan Barnes. So he gets the hit off of Coach J. O'Connor. Park not as full as it was when we started the ball game, but it is a 10-0 ball game, and it's just an exhibition game. O'Connor deals up and away and inside to the 9-hole hitter, Kai Chapelski, 1-0. Australia on Australia here as that one doesn't find the zone. I guess I should be doing an Australian accent. The pitch inside, fouled off, first base side. 2-1. Here's the count. It's Coach J. O'Connor. Looks to get his fellow Australian. This pitch is up in the zone. It's 3-1. No radar gun for O'Connor as he deals a 3-1. Low, ball 4. And he gives up his first walk on the day. We'll see how far they let him go. But top of the order. And Cody van der Graaf steps to the plate. Fastball, ball 1. Line drive, left field, base hit. Gledhill does not field it cleanly, but holding at third is Barnes. And on at first is Van der Graaf. If you're wondering why I'm talking like this, there's because our Australian coach, J.J. O'Connor, is on the mound, and here he comes to be taken out after just 13 pitches. It looks like his day might be done. And Coach Zach Smith, as I can finally return to the American accent, because Coach Zach Smith is from Gehring, Nebraska. Thank you very much. J.J. O'Connor's day is done after just 13 pitches, and Coach Zach Smith will take over on the mound. See what Coach Zach Smith has as he falls on the mound just a little bit, doing his warm-up pitches here, as he will get ready to deal to the 2-hole hitter in Zach Durbin after he's done with his warm-up pitches. Wearing number 41 on the back of his jersey is Coach Zach Smith. And we're just about ready as he's done with his warm-up pitches. So Zach Durbin will be the batter. And deals ball one, does Coach Zach Smith. Exhibition game allows these guys to do that. We'll see if Coach Shane Sharkey takes the field at all, of course, being the former infielder. Up and away, 2-0 now. In danger of giving up the first run are the coaches here. Line drive, left center field. That ball gets down. Gledhill fields it. He hits Burgess on a line. Coming home to score with the first run of the ball game is Durbin. They're coming through with the first RBI on the day is Durbin. Coming home to score was Barnes. And it is 10-1 now. Ryan Clark is the batter now. That one is in there, cut on and missed at the plate by Clark, who bats with the bases loaded. Bounces one, foul towards the third base coach's box. And the 0-2 is in there, just a bit low. It's 1-2 now. As we play in the top of inning number 6 of the exhibition game. Foul tipped at the plate as it goes towards Gavin Clenert in the on-deck circle, first base side. So the count holds at 0-2. And Smith deals outside, 2-2. One, two, up and away. 2-2, up and away. 3-2. Three-two, cut on and missed. Down on strikes is Clark for the third time today. And the batter will be Gavin Clenert. That's with the bases loaded here. And 2 outs in the top of inning number 6. Fouls this one back off of Coach Zach Smith. And the pitch from Smith. Bounced back to the mound. Fields it. He'll go to first with it. And he gets the out. And it's a 1-3 put out on Clenert. And that ends the inning. The Colts get a run as they send 7 to the plate off of O'Connor and Smith. And at the end of 5.5, the Piles lead at 10-1.
Advance, it's time for the Detailing Company Cornhole Competition. We'll send it down to Katie.
Get set, go. Okay. Looks like red is the winner. Congratulations. Happy to be built.
All right, thank you, Katie. And thanks to the Detailing Company for their continued support of Piles baseball.
Who was this? back here as we get set for the bottom of the 6th. Jacoby Akawa will get his first at-bat of the day off of Ryan Clark. 1 run in the top of the 6th. Coach J.J. O'Connor goes a third of an inning, gives up 2 hits, a run, and it's earned. 2/3 of an inning. Giving up 1 hit was Coach Zach Smith. He didn't give up any runs, didn't walk anybody, and got a strikeout as well. Coach J. O'Connor did not get a strikeout. 0-1 count on Kobe Akawa, as that pitch is hard from Clark, and it's low, however, so it's 1-1. Kobe Akawa fouls it off, first base side, 1-2. The 1-2 pitch to Kobe Akawa was flared down the right field line, foul. And that pitch was outside, 2-2. Two again outside is Clark with his fastball. It's 3-2 on Kobe Akawa, who bats in the 6th inning. He was at bat to end the 5th. And the payoff, cut on and missed. Down on strikes is Kobe Akawa. Back-to-back strikeouts for Clark. Brooks Farrell gets his first at-bat of the day. He takes strike 1 on the outside corner. The 0-1 is lined into left field. Another hit for Brooks Farrell. Well, let me tell you something. When Brooks is in the box, he gets hits, and he puts the ball in play, as he does there, and he gets a base knock to left field. He doesn't have much stride at the plate. Does the Floresville, Texas native, who's been turned into a heck of a pitcher so far this season for the Pioneers. And Cole Weiland will bat for the second time now, having tripled down the right field line his first time. Farrell with his lead off of first. First pitch into Weiland is inside. That pitch is a pickoff, and it goes down and goes past Jackson Frame. Farrell has decent speed, rounds first, heads into third. Rounds second and heads into third. He's over there on the E1 by the pitcher Clark on the pickoff. And he stands at third now. With 1 out. And a 1-0 count on Cole Weiland, who has 1 at bat so far. As I mentioned, it was the RBI triple to right. Takes a fastball in the zone. One. Hit in the air to right field. This should bring home a run. It does indeed. The catch is made by Ethan Ward out there in right. It's a sac fly and an RBI for Cole Weiland And he brings home the 11th run of the day for the Pioneers. Another productive at-bat for the Salem, Oregon native. As coming across the plate is Brooks Farrell. It is now 11-1.
All right, fans. Top price hero designated hitter number 19, O'Connor.
O'Connor, who's entered the game for Gaffney. Lines one towards second. Making a stab at it is Chapelski. He fields, throws the first in time. Out is O'Connor, and that is the third out here in the sixth. At the end of six, the Pios are on top 11-1.
Bottom of the sixth, 1 run, 1 hit, 2 errors, 1 from the eighth. The score of the Colts 1. Great Pios, O'Connor. Hey, fans, it's time for our Rachel G. Hood giveaway. Here's one of our Philip Park sponsors for tonight's game. Brandon and Julie, take it away.
Retro Video is giving away $450 gift cards, and our first winner is Miss Linda. And then our second winner of the $50 gift card, courtesy of Retro Video, is Miss Tasha. Katie, take it away.
Okay, I'm in section 102, and Sierra and Micah are our third winner. And we have Audrey, Grace, and Cole, our fourth winner. Congratulations. Hope you all enjoy your lunch and dinners.
All right, thanks, Randy and Katie. And next is Retro Viejo, not only for the giveaway, but for sponsoring our Philip Park night tonight.
Rowan O'Connor, who we mentioned him and Andrew Landis were the two newest Pioneers. He goes from the designated hitter to the pitcher's mound as he will get rid of the coaches being on the mound. And in fact, we'll go back to players pitching to players here instead of former players to players. And O'Connor will pitch here in the seventh as he deals the first pitch low, 1-0. So the second O'Connor on the day to pitch, this one being Rowan O'Connor. He has a 1-1 count, buckles the knees of the batter Ethan Ward, and the count is 1-2 now. One-two on the outside corner, just off the plate, pushes it to 2-2 now. The 1-2 breaking ball, cut on and miss, down on strikes is Ward. First strikeout of the day for O'Connor. He sits down Ward with the first out here in the seventh. Rowan O'Connor, 6'2", freshman from Seattle, Washington, home to Pike Place Market and their Flying Fish. Goes to Gonzaga University where he's a Bulldog. He's staying in-state even though he travels the 5 hours across the state. So here in Gehring, that would be like somebody going to University of Nebraska-Lincoln. He gets a first pitch strike as he deals to Grady Smith and then misses outside. So it's 1-1 here with one out in the top of the seventh inning. Lined right into the screen over the dugout of the Colts. So 1-2 should be the count on Grady Smith, although the scoreboard operator's a little bit behind here in an 11-1 ball game in the top of the seventh. And the pitch is in the dirt from O'Connor to Kobe Akawa. Burgess at third, Farrell at short. Bevel is still at second base with his partner on the right side of the infield being Aiden Young. Johnston, Wyland, and Gledhill is still the outfield. This one goes back up the middle. It goes off of the glove of O'Connor, fielded by Bevel, who throws wide. Aiden Young kept his foot on the bag, and he makes a nice play, and it's a 1-4-3 putout, not the common putout that you see there, as it got a piece of O'Connor, and he gets the second out here in the 6th. Coy Carpenter is making pitching changes. That's what's going on here. No more Shane Sharkey as the head coach. It's a pitching change coming from Coy Carpenter, who's going to bring in a left-hander to face Jackson Frame. That left-hander is going to be, I believe it's number 6 out there in Luke Nowak. Nowak taking over on the mound in an exhibition matchup. Spikes his first warm-up pitch, rightfully so, from the outfielder. A good pitching change from Coy Carpenter, who had something to say over there that made Francisco Laya laugh. So saving the arm of O'Connor, Rowan O'Connor that is, and turning the ball over to Nowak as O'Connor goes 2/3 of an inning. Nothing across, except for the strikeout that he had. So Nowak takes over on the mound as he'll pitch here in the 7th with 2 outs. And the batter will be the first baseman, Jackson Frame, who has had a strikeout today, popped out to short, and walked once. One and 0. As Nowak throws up and away. Deals outside again. On his second pitch, so it's 2-0. 3-0 now from Nowak. As the left-hander from Frisco, Texas takes the mound in the exhibition match against the Select Colts. This pitch is inside. It's a 4-pitch walk from Nowak. The batter is Ryan Barnes. This one well high, caught by Kobayakawa. A good catch behind the plate. Overthrowing out there on the mound is Nowak. He needs to get it down and throw strikes if he wants to stay in this ball game. Now, all jokes aside, this one goes past Kobayakawa. It will be a wild pitch on Nowak. And moving to second on the play was Frame. 11-1. We're playing an exhibition game with the Australian Select Colts or the Western Nebraska Pioneers. As you listen to Pioneers Baseball on KNEB Radio and on the Western Nebraska Pioneers YouTube page. I'm Jeffrey Nelson as Luke Nowak is on the mound, the left fielder who already came out of the ball game, but it's exhibition, so why not bring him back into the ball game, right? He deals a strike, his first strike on the day. Goes to the catcher, Barnes. It's 2-1. He deals up high and out of the zone, 3-1. 3-1. This is outside. Oh, caught the corner, according to Ayotte. And that makes it 3-2. The payoff. Line down the right field line over the head of Aiden Young. It is a fair ball. And it will score a run as Johnston goes down into foul territory and fields that ball. Throws it in. And in at second base with back-to-back hits now and an RBI double is Ryan Barnes. Coming home to score on the play was Jackson Frame. It's 11-2 now. As Barnes did a good job of putting the ball in play with 2 strikes, especially with 2 outs here. This pitch flared down the right field line. Aiden Young is chasing it, and he is not going to get there as it lands well foul and out of reach of the first baseman from Albuquerque, New Mexico. So 0-1 is the count on the 9-hole hitter, Kai Chapelski. Up and out of the zone from Nowak. It's 1-1. One and two now. Nowak has a 1-2 count on Chapelski. Deals low, 2-2. Runner off a second is Barnes after his RBI double. Change up, got him looking. Heck of a combo from Luke Nowak, who gets a strikeout to end the inning. One across for the select Colts, and at the end of 6.5, it's time to stretch at Oregon Trail Park. It's an 11-2 ball game.
Top of the 7th, one run on 1 hit and no errors, 1 left on base. The score in the Colts 2, and your Pirates 11.
Bill, the game's over. They're ending the game. Yep.
All right, fans, and it looks like they're going to implement the mercy rule. That will be the game. With the final score, the Colts 2 and your Pioneers 11. Fans, don't forget the Pioneers will be in Oregon Trail Park Stadium tomorrow at 6:35 for another matchup against the Australian Select Colts. And remember that if you can't be here in person, you can listen to them on KWDAM 960, FM 100.3, or stream the game on the Pioneers YouTube channel. We'd like to say a special thanks to Rolas for providing tonight's post-player deal. We thank them for their continued support of Pioneers baseball. Fans, please help out our game day staff and interns and pick up any trash near you and dispose of it in the nearest receptacle. Thank you for coming out this evening and supporting your Pioneers.
Well, we're back here at Oregon Trail Park, and the reason you're hearing that Runs a Post game and the music to open up the Runs a Post game is because they've called this game at 11-2, and E.J. Barnes is down on the field with Anna Semba, so we're going to throw it to Anna Semba, who has E.J. Barnes, who had a heck of a day at the plate. Take it away, Anna.
Alrighty, we are here after the Pioneers just won 11-2. We're here with E.J. Barnes. He hit 2 doubles today, not just 1 but 2. How does that? Walk me through that. Just both of those doubles. One in the first inning, I believe, and then the second one. Remind me which one it was.
I think it was the 5th. I think. Yeah. Just saw the ball well. Try to get my pitch, be selective for mine, and got the ball out in front and delivered.
And then on the road, you guys had a little bit of a tough time. Let's be honest here.
We definitely did.
How does this momentum, going to be pushing you guys to the rest of this 10-game homestands? How is that going to be for you guys, knowing that you guys just crushed it out today?
Awesome. We love being out here. The fans are electric, so that brings us some energy. And we love just being at home and being able to play at our own ballpark.
And then what are you expecting for the rest of these games? Are you expecting that same power, that same build?
No doubt. We definitely should bring it all to the home ballpark and protect the house.
Alrighty, thank you so much. We're going to go to Jeffrey Nelson now to give you guys the post-game show. Take it away, Jeffrey.
All right, thank you, Anna, as we continue the Runs a Post-game show here at Oregon Trail Park Stadium. This game got called around 9:20 or so that pushes the time to 2 hours and 40 minutes of game time today. A ball game in which the Pioneers win 11-2 in 7 innings. Mind you, it is an exhibition game, so it does not go to league standings. Of course, we know that because there were coaches on the mound pitching today, and our left fielder was also pitching as well. We saw a couple other guys, though, like Andrew Landis and Rowan O'Connor, make their debuts for the Western Nebraska Pioneers after joining the team in the past couple days, which was very exciting to see. And some guys who needed to find their bats and get a couple of hits did just that today, like E.J. Barnes, who you saw in the postgame interview with Anasemba. So we're going to have a quick break. We'll talk more about it. And, of course, tomorrow's exhibition game will probably look very, very similar to the game today. But that young Australian select Colts team is learning with each game that they play. And we'll come back and continue the Runs of Postgame show after this. Thank you. You going to be here tomorrow? Tell them their handshake is weak as hell. Cooper, your Euro is trash. We're back here on KNEB Radio and on the Western Nebraska Pioneers YouTube page. The winner today is Andrew Landis, and the loser is Lachlan Forder. Now, there is no save, and today the Pioneers were playing exhibition, so it was a fun game. It was a good crowd. It was a fill-the-park night here at Oregon Trail Park Stadium as the Pioneers took down the Australian Select Colts and got a win 11-2 in 7 innings. The game started off hot for the Pioneers. Back-to-back walks to start the ball game. It was Kieran Gaffney and Luke Nowak in the top of the order, leading off the ball game for the Pioneers. And, well, they came around to score on wild pitches. And that was an exciting opportunity already to start the game for Paul Panduro, who was on the mound. And he struggled with his command today. And I will get more from either Paul or Coach Jay O'Connor before our exhibition game tomorrow, because it is unlike Paul Panduro to have 7 walks and 5 strikeouts. And, well, 73 pitches was enough for Coach Jay O'Connor and Coach Shane Sharkey for them to see Panduro on the mound, and they called it for him after that. Now, on the offensive side, the offense provided runs often and early. 2, 1, 2, and 5 was the scoring in the first 4 innings for the Pioneers as they jumped out early to a 10-0 lead. And, well, the only runs were given up by guys who don't typically pitch, and that's Luke Nowak, and the other run got charged to Coach J.J. O'Connor, who pitched in this game against some fellow Australians. Now, tomorrow's game is going to be at the same time, another exhibition game for the Pioneers, in which we'll see multiple changes today. Guys that it was good to see get hits and get on base and see them in the box. Cole Weiland had an RBI triple to right. He hasn't had many opportunities at the plate, but he's continued to prove it that he can hit the ball well. Jackson Yeager had good at-bats today. I did like the way that he was swinging it at the plate, although he had a walk and a fly out to left before he was replaced by Aiden Young, who outdid him with a 2 RBI double and a triple. Well, Jackson Yeager, in my opinion, is due to break out with a big swing in the next couple days, and I promise you that will come before Monday. I'll remind you tomorrow that I said it, because when it happens, You won't want to hear me because I know I will be right at some point. Either way, other people that it was good to see, Luke Nowak typically has his good at-bats. He had 3 walks on the day, one of them being a hit by pitch. And Francisco Laya, of course, he had his RBI on a walk, and he also singled to center and raced Luke Nowak home on the double by Aiden Young. But also, there were other people today, like Brooks Farrell, who put a good swing on the ball and came around to score. And it was good to see the guys on the mound like Landis, who was throwing 87 to 89 today. And that is good to see after losing a couple of arms if you're the Pioneers, to see guys be out there on the mound that are capable of executing pitches and getting outs for you, even if it's against a young team like the Australian Select Colts that they're facing right now. It's good to see guys that can get you outs, and you can understand that you can put them out there in a situation should anything come up. Now, for the Runs of Postgame, as always, I'm Jeffrey Nelson. We thank you very much for listening to the Runs of Postgame. We hope that you will be back very, very soon, in fact, tomorrow night, because the Pioneers will be taking on these same Select Colts tomorrow night, right here on KNEB Radio. Now, after the commercial break, we'll get set to send you back to your regularly scheduled program. For Jeffrey Nelson and the rest of the Western Nebraska Pioneers, I hope that you have a good night and that we see you tomorrow.